بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نون والقلم وما يسطرون. Alhamdulillah, Allah has granted us another opportunity to learn something new in arts, and just to reflect on what we learned during last time's episode. We discussed several issues regarding to Arabic calligraphy, which we said is like the backbone of Islamic arts. We did some research on it, and Alhamdulillah, we tried to explain to the level of a beginner so that our children understand better. Though there is so much that is needed to be discussed on that issue, but Alhamdulillah, we shortened it so that our viewers, especially our children, at least they can relate to what we mean and what we are intending to do. Inshallah, as we promised last time, we said we will talk about some of the fonts. We will learn some of the fonts. We will write some of the alphabets from Alif to Ya. And from the fonts that we mentioned on our previous lesson, we have decided to choose one of the fonts, as we mentioned many. For example, we mentioned Nasakh, we mentioned Thuluth, Diwani, Kuffic, Maghribi, and so on and so on. So from these, we decided to pick one so that from that, we proceed with our writing. Arabs used to write with qalam, and that is the tradition of writing Arabic calligraphy. You have to have a qalam, but since you don't have qalam, we will be using our brushes, which you will get available at any store near you. The font that we will be using to write is Kuffic. Why have we chosen to use Kuffic font or Kuffic script? Because it has so much history in it. It is very deep. First of all, this Kuffic, its name was derived from the city of Kufa, which is located 170 kilometers from the city of Baghdad, and is situated around River Euphrates. And the city of Kufa has so many connections with Islam. We can learn from history that Sayyidina Omar radiallahu ta'ala anhu is the one who founded the city of Kufa, and it was the last capital of the Rashidun, the four caliphs, and the last capital which was inhabited by Sayyidina Ali bin Abi Talib karramallahu wajhahu. So it has a great connection with Islam, the city of Kufa, and due to that, this font was derived from that city. That's why it's named Kuffic. So insha'Allah ta'ala, we'll discuss or we will learn how to write the Kuffic script. As we have said, as we have mentioned, it is regarded to as the oldest form of Arabic calligraphy. And even if you take a look at many of the past scripts, they were written in Kuffic form. Even if you take a look at the letter that Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the messenger, the letters that he used to send to the kings, those letters were written in Kuffic form. So mashallah, it will be a pleasure, and it will be a very, very exciting adventure for me and for our children to learn one of the best fonts that were used by the Sahabas, that was used during the Prophet's time, and one of the fonts that even the Quran was used to write with. So alhamdulillah, it will be a great pleasure to embark on this journey with you, with our children, and inshallah after the end of the lesson we'll learn a thing or two about this Kuffic font. Without wasting any time, from our last lesson or previous session, we learned how to mix colors. We came up with a variety of secondary colors, including green, gray, pink, orange, brown, and purple. Inshallah, these colors, we'll use them to write on our canvas. Kuffic font has several variety forms of writing. There is the square Kuffic, and there is the noted Kuffic, there is floreted Kuffic. There are so many varieties of fonts in the Kuffic script, and what we are going to use is the square Kuffic. From the canvas that we have, if you can see, I've drawn some lines. These lines, you must have them whenever you want to write any form of calligraphy, because they will guide you. Because there are some alphabets that go underneath the line, and some remain on the line. And especially when you are writing with Kuffic fonts, we should use straight lines, because the Kuffic font usually is in a block system, is in a square pattern, so the lines have to be neat and straight. So we'll start with the first alphabet. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The first alphabet is Alif. Look at the way I'm holding my brush. Don't hold it like this when you want to write. Make it to be flat. And remember, I've said that the Arabs use qalam, but since we don't have qalam, we'll use our brush. And that is how you write alif in the Kuffic script. Just like a block. Alif is written like that in the Kuffic form. That should be easy for our viewers to try and copy. So I'll pick the same color, gray, to write the next alphabet, which is Ba. This is the Kuffic font, and we've chosen the square font. So when writing, you can use any side of writing. You can decide, you start from left to right, preferable with your handwriting, but we prefer you start from right to left. This is how you write Ba in the Kuffic square. So this Ba is when it's alone. When you want to connect the Ba with something else on this other side, you write it like this, then like that, and this is your Ba. That is how you write Ba in the Kuffic form. And since there are several alphabets like that looks the same as Ba, which is Ta and Tha, you'll just use the same pattern when writing Ta and Tha. So the next color I'm using is color pink. To write Jim, since Ba or Bete and The are the same, so we will use pink to write Jim. Remember, this is the Kuffic square, so everything is almost square. Remember don't be stiff on with your hand. Be flexible. And that is how you write Jim. And when joining it with something, with another alphabet, this is how Jim will look like. So the same goes for Ha and Kha. So the next alphabet will be Dal. I will use orange. That is how you write Dal, and Dal also. So that's how you write ara. And za, you'll just put a dot like dhal. Next alphabet will be sin. Remember, this is the Kuffic font, regarded to as one of the oldest fonts. So this is how you write sin. There are so many ways, obvious, of writing it. This is when you're joining it to something, sin. But when it's alone, this is how you write sin. I'm still using orange. So our next alphabet will be sad. This is how you write sad, the same as dad. That is twa. So for ba, you'll just add the dot. Remember, this is only for beginner. That's why we are trying to make it as easy as possible for our children. The next one is ayn. That is how you write ayn. So the same as ghain, you'll just add the dots. After ghain, we have the alphabet fa. The square Kufi. Then we have Kaf. But this font is common for those who are learning at Omar University. You'll find this font written on the walls. That's how you write a kaf on the Kuffi font. Then we have lam. Then we go to mim. That's how mim looks like. Then nun. Nun is almost like ba and ta and ta. Next is wow. Then ha. Ha is a little bit tricky. That's how you write ha. Then lam alif. Now for those who have been to Ummah, several times they've seen lam alif on their entrance gates. It's almost written like that. The audience, I guess, is La ilaha illallah, the kalima. That's lam alif. So I will use another different paint to finish our alphabets. Hamza. That's how you write Hamza. And the last alphabet is Ya. When you want to join Ya with another alphabet, you write it like that. So Alhamdulillah, we've managed to write Alif up to Ya using the Kuffic alphabet. We have chosen the Kuffic square font to write our alphabets today. Inshallah, that should do it for today's lesson. On our next lesson, we will try to be more and more active with our painting. We'll try to be more, we'll try to explore more on painting, and what we have in mind, we will be doing one of the most common paintings, which is a sunset painting, inshallah. Don't miss out on that, since it will be a very interesting topic. Make sure you don't miss out on that. And also, don't forget to practice a lot on the alphabets. There are so many fonts that you can use to write the fonts. We've chosen Kuffic because it has the history that we've explained. Please don't rest. Continue doing practice, and you'll even write it much better than we have done today. Remember, this was only for a beginner lesson, and inshallah, Allah will make us reach to the expert lesson, to the expertise level. Until we meet again, shukran, ma salam, wa billahi tawfiq.